Brought to you by SunWest Genetics.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're here today without Jeremiah Vandermeer. Still CCN live, but Jeremiah's not here today. He's missing in action somewhere. Last we heard, he was in Canadian Tire camping section, tented up in a tent. Telling me his phone was going to die. You know, that sort of normal stories. And it's almost 4:20, so we're telling everyone to roll up all their joints and get them ready. Not too much exciting happened this week in the marijuana news, really. We have some new stores opening in Vancouver, or a new store, the Hobo store, for, you know, the hobos with their little stick and bag, so they can go in and replenish their bags. It's opening in Vancouver. I haven't been by the store. I just seen some tweets and different pictures. Looks like a normal legal weed store. Smell jars you can't open or look at, and a small nug in there. And in other bad news on the legal front, we got shops closing down in other parts of the provinces. Hamilton and Toronto have some reduced hours stores, I guess, for... I'm not sure if they have no weed or if they have no staff or if they have no customers. It could be a thing of all three of them. We're not actually sure. We're going to do some investigation while we're out in Ontario. And I actually read a funny thing today that if there was some like smart business entrepreneurs, they might want to head down to that store on the days that they're closed and just hand out a business card or two. That's all. That's all I'm saying. When I read that, I was like, yeah, that makes total sense. Because the people just want to go down. Like when you go to a liquor store, it's open all the time. You can just walk in, be like, oh, it's 9 o'clock. Liquor store is still open. Let's go get some liquor. And I know they're thinking the same about the weed store. When they get down there, it'll be a different story. They're still going to have to go meet that guy in the back parking lot and be like, I got your weed here. I got your jazz cabbage, as they like to say back in 93. Also like to shout out Germ D, a graffiti artist from Montreal, does all this good shirts. He does a lot of Bart Simpson stuff, and as you guys know, I like The Simpsons a lot, so any play on them's always good. All those illegal bootleg shirts, better. Be like, if you could buy like good illegal bootleg pot, I'd buy that as often as I could. Like the beer and the booze, you know, it's better to buy it after hours. Where now the weed's kind of not very subpar, so we're not actually thinking like, oh, I'm gonna go buy some legal weed and sell it when the legal weed store closes.
Yeah, there's just no market for legal weed and resale.
No market for legal weed and resale these days. Like I just bought this weed down at the dispensary. It's Rockstar, and it was like $8 a gram, and it was like awesome. Well, it is awesome. These guys are awesome, and so is this one. So I was like, We should give a shout out to Johnny B. He's not here either. He's still wounded up a bit from his car accident, I keep telling people. I don't know if that's actually true, but he did get hit pretty hard. If you guys don't know, he got smucked by this big black truck and wrecked his car. And obviously himself, so. But he walked away from it, so that's like the good thing. But, you know, just general soreness. I can't imagine what he feels like these days. Oh, there we go. Legal stores are closed in Ontario due to limited stock. That's good it said that, because I wasn't sure it actually said that. And a good time to get all your outdoor plants going, guys. Everywhere now. I guess Ontario is probably good enough weather. Here we're good. SunWest Genetics would be a good place to start. Downstairs in the store, they have some genetics there for sale too. Vancouver Seed Bank, still up and running online. Check them out. Don't plant more than 4, though. They're going to be checking. Which I highly doubt. I think even one of the police chiefs said he's not going to be checking. He says that seems unrealistic. Looking over backyards and stuff. And in Ontario, yeah, wherever you can, just put them out, or all the other provinces you can grow, put them out in plain view if you want. Like, chances are they might get stolen. So, unless they're just like sacrificial plants, people that don't really smoke the plant, yeah, grow it out in your front yard just to show people it's harmless. We're here in BC, we still have to lock it up, lock and key, put a shade over it so our neighbor can't see the marijuana, because if you see it, you're going to be high off of it and might want to like try it or grow it. One of those things. Oh, I also have some interesting thing. I tried out one of those, the drug testing, getyourdrugtested.com, I think it is. Oh, 419, 1 minute warning. I'm going to start a fresh joint for that. It's 420, guys. Smoke them if you got them. I'm going to spark this one up. But yeah, with the getyourdrugtested.com, I actually brought them some different CBD isolates to try out because I was curious what might be left behind in them and what they're getting tested as. But 3 or 4 different companies I tested, all tested proper, high purity, and no anything else in it. So that makes me feel better that everyone's been using this stuff for a long time, and it's just a pure CBD isolate, which I guess that's why it's called an isolate. And it's pretty isolated. But you know me, I'm always the skeptic. I got to make sure. And just because it was in the powdered form and history and stuff with powdered drugs, people always add a little bit of extra into it because it's easy to do, and it was very expensive when it first came out. CBD and those things were like 50 plus a gram. So it was like the same cost as other powdered drugs that people might cut. But as we like to know in the weed world, everyone's pretty good, pretty honest. The CBD was pure. I don't know. We also have a few videos to show. Where we're going to do the Marijuana March video.
Yeah, we got footage of the full marijuana march this year.
Vancouver?
Yeah.
We got Vancouver Marijuana March footage. Any Toronto footage?
No Toronto footage. It was definitely some. We can pull some up.
Maybe we'll pull some up and show you guys that. I don't know how big it was this year, actually. I usually go every year, but this year I sat it out and came to Vancouver because it was more chill. I got to sit in the back of Johnny B's truck and just roll joints and smoke them all along the route. It was great. I got out, walked ahead, took some pictures, got back in the truck, smoked some more joints. And this year they let all the trucks onto the beach, which they normally kind of shun us and only one truck, the lead truck, can go on there. Because we used to have Don Briere from Weeds bring his awesome fire truck down, and that was always the leader. And then we'd use it like a stage and stuff. And they'd always let that one on the beach, but then they wouldn't let like Johnny's pickup truck or other people's trucks and stuff. They were just highly against it. This year it was just come on in, boys. We just kept pulling them up on the grass, and that was fine. Oh, yeah, and it was May the 4th, so we do have some Star Wars characters going on in there. Not as many as I had hoped for, but I really wasn't ready for it. Jeremiah dressed up as the Stormtrooper, and Carly Marley dressed up as Princess Leia. That's what she was, eh? Yeah. It was a good time.
I know they did a march in Toronto, moved it, so it's somewhere else on the page.
Ah,
Just the promo.
just the promo video.
The Vancouver one right now. Come back. Or do you want to wait?
No, we'll watch it right now.
We're going to keep fighting, protesting, marching, being civil disobedience.
Say you're a good-looking crowd, we're going to look really cool walking down the street. This is taking part in hundreds of other cities around the world, by the way. This is a protest about the way people are treated for cannabis right around the world. And it's horrible. In some countries, they execute people for small amounts of cannabis. In other places, they couldn't do what we're doing here. So we need to keep doing what we're doing here to speak for them and to stand up against bad laws here so that they can maybe change there.
This is a global movement. There are hundreds of cities around the world today having marches and rallies, thousands of people filling the streets, demanding real liberty, real freedom, not the fake legalization that's being sold across our nation and abroad. The legalization that only serves to enrich the rich and punish the poor is not cannabis legalization. Real legalization means real liberation. Liberation for our health with medical cannabis. Liberation of our spirit with the sacraments that we smoke. Cannabis offers liberation of your mind, of your spirit, of your body, of our people, and of the world. And cannabis can save the world if we let it. We have to take to the streets and say, it's not legal until everyone is legal. Everyone who loves this plant and everybody who benefits from it. Liberate us. That's why we march. This is our
This is really a global march, and this is about the global war on cannabis and the broader global war on drugs. And I find my thoughts turning so often to this man in Malaysia named Muhammad Luqman, who is currently on death row for running a cannabis dispensary.
No prison for pot!
We've got to keep this fight going, not just for our cannabis community here in Canada, but for cannabis users and the medical culture all around the world, where people suffer very severe penalties, torture, murder, execution, deprivation of their liberty, just because they want to do a little bit of this plan. Jail for using flowers. It's guns versus flowers. It's the evil empire versus the rebels. You rebel scum.
Over pot! People are losing so much over pot! No more drug war! 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 Is doing nothing about money laundering, but 44 new pot cops are assigned full-time to go after dispensaries and medical marijuana. In British Columbia, the RCMP has no money spent on investigating gangs and casinos, but the RCMP federally has $274 million for cannabis law enforcement. Legalization is fake legalization. This is a new prohibition. It doesn't legalize what existed. It doesn't legalize the BC craft cannabis. It doesn't legalize
I repeat, you need to hold on.
Well, I've been coming to the march since about 25 years at least. I think it started in New York in 20.
I love your outfit.
Didn't it?
You're
But anyway, I've been coming a long time because I'm a long time activist. Going back to a long time, 84 was it? When I went to the Supreme Court on the religious use of marijuana. So it's very fundamental to me.
But you cannot monopolize on the sun or the wind or the waves or geothermal or hemp ethanol or any of the renewable resources that are cleaner and less toxic. I mean, a hemp ethanol spill would just evaporate. And we want to bring in more tankers and more pipelines. We're in a climate crisis. We cannot use fossil fuels anymore. It pumps CO2 into the atmosphere. It causes climate destabilization. And hemp ethanol is probably the best solution for the climate crisis we're in.
It was a good turnout, and I thought we looked good out there in the streets. So enjoy the rest of the day. 420 is coming up, and we'll be throwing joints at you, so stick around. I'm Marijuana Man, peace and pot. The world is oppressed by these cannabis laws. At 420, we're lighting a joint of peace for them. 3, 2, 1. Light them up, everybody. This is about freedom at its core. This is about what we can and cannot do as free people, and we deserve to be free, damn it.
That's psychoactive. This is not psychoactive. But in order for the isopress to work, with microdose, it will activate the CBD.
Oh, we're having a good marijuana march.
Global Marijuana March. Check it out. Right there. Flagging. Flaggenson from the Flaggenstein's crew. So yeah, that was good. I like this marijuana march. I had a great time. It was sunny and nice. The police didn't really give us a hard time. They gave us a late start because the escort didn't come. Or I don't know if they knew, or I don't know what happened. Anyway, it took them a while. They were like, "We're not giving you an escort," and then they were like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we are." There was like, what, 3 cops? No. Stopping traffic at the things. Even that, they weren't really doing a good job. Like, there was still people, like, walking. Like, the lights would change, and they'd just be like, oh, whatever. And people would start walking, and they just, like, let them cross. But whatever. We were potheads. We didn't care. We were, like, stopped in the middle of the road or, like, the intersection. And, you know, of course, that's better for us. Yeah, we were trying to get everyone to join us. They didn't want the people throwing stuff at the crowd because the crowd didn't want it. Is what one of the cops had an issue.
People did. It seemed like people were real. Like, whoa, someone's throwing joints at us.
Well, it was Johnny. He just had papers, not Smoking Brand. Well, we're gonna call him Smoking Brand for this story, and. The cop was like just behind him or whatever, and I was in his truck, and there was like a guy at his window rolled down. He was like, Johnny was like, "Hey, you want some papers?" And the kid was like, "Yeah, for sure." So he threw a bunch, and like some went in his car, and then some like hit the ground. And then the cop was like, he didn't want them, and so he went back, and I guess the cop like asked the kid like, "Oh, do you want those?" And of course the kid's gonna be like, "Oh no, it's like the fucking cop's like right in your window." Like, yeah, I'd say no too, and be like, "Oh, I didn't want them," you know, like. Depending on what it was just papers, and he probably didn't even know exactly. He probably thought it was weed or something at the first, so he didn't want to get caught with weed or some shit. And yeah, and then he like came up and was like, "That guy didn't want it," or whatever, told Johnny, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" But other than that, it was like fine. That was like the only thing, and even that, he wasn't really. He was probably just bored, so he's like, "What can I do here right now?" And they're like, "Oh, it's probably not allowed to do that." Freaking cops. I guess we should shout out the hat sponsor for the show. Grassroots, Colorado, California, Chicago. All the grassroots, just so I don't miss out on anything. We got the Masters Tokes, this one. Or, sorry, the Masters Kush, for Masters Cup. And in case you guys didn't know, all the grassroots hats have the cool inside. Or the bud cam, maybe, for that. Let's see. Yeah, that's like the nugs. And then, in case you also didn't know, they all have the little secret pocket. Not there, it's right here.
Not so secret pocket.
Not so secret pocket. Little. Put your few joints, couple dime bags, papes. That's it. I'm sure you guys all know about grassroots hats, but you'd be surprised. Some people don't. Yeah, good company, a bunch of good guys just doing hat things and some clothes and stuff now. So, been around for, I think this is their 11th year. I don't know when their anniversary is. I'm going to say it's 420, but that's probably close. I don't like doing a show by myself. It's hard. I don't have as much smoking time.
Not as much. You need some more smoking time. I do have Joe Rogan and Tommy Chong.
Oh, yeah. You guys probably didn't see that yet. Well, I'm sure some of you did. The Joe Rogan podcast with Tommy Chong on it, where he does his good imitation of Be Real.
I thought it was incredible. It was very, very good.
And it is good, too. Like,
I'd like to hear him singing in his car. Like when he's just by himself, I bet
he really kills it.
oh yeah, I bet.
He does his own smoke box.
I got some from Be Real that scared the shit out of me.
Was it?
I did Be Real Smoke Box.
Oh, yeah.
Be Real from Cypress
Yeah,
Hill.
yeah, I know B.
Fuck. That's probably as high as I've ever been in my life.
Really?
Those guys go hard.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't keep up with them.
No. I don't even try. I'm a lightweight, man.
All these kids are dabbing and using wax. And I watch, did you ever go to Cypress Hill's Instagram page? I get anxiety just watching their videos. Like, how high are you getting? Because they play, I want to get high, so high. And you're watching the video and you're like, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't even watch this.
I know.
They're scooping that yellow wax in there.
I know.
Oh, they go so deep, these kids today.
Dem dabs dare, eh? Oh, that's so funny. But yeah, no, it's true. They go hard on the smoke box. I don't know if I can handle it too. I guess if it wasn't blunts, I'd be okay. If it was blunts, I'd be out like within a second. The tobacco leaf just makes me sick now, so I don't know. It's because I used to love smoking cigarettes. So remember that, kids. If you love smoking cigarettes, don't start smoking blunts, because then you won't be able to go back after you quit. And everyone should quit smoking cigarettes, but that's whatever, to each their own. I don't want to be that guy. And I used to smoke a lot of cigarettes because I used to like doing bottle tokes. People know what that is. Made famous by like Ricky from the Trailer Park Boys and others throughout history. It's where you take a cigarette and put hash and then collect it like in a bottle, a broken bottle. Like, it's super raunchy, gets you super baked. It's pretty economically friendly because you're only smoking a little bit and you're not wasting any at all. But then you're also doing like a secondhand cigarette smoke and hash smoke in a bottle. So I don't even know. That can't be good for you. I've asked the doctor to look at my lungs a couple times, and he says, no, you're fine. Your breathing's good. You got all this stuff. So I was like, well, I used to love cigarettes. He's like, yeah, but that was like a while ago now. I just look at him like, okay, doc. No, it's been like, I don't know, 8 years, 9 years now or something without cigs. So. And I wasn't like a huge smoker, I guess. Maybe like, see, 2 Joints says it's an Ontario thing, bottled oaks. And obviously Nova Scotia, because Ricky. Yeah. Even Trevor and Corey, I think they were doing them out there. Yeah, and you could do it anywhere. You can get a bottle at any store. If you got the right rock or whatever, or dime, you can just crack a hole in the side, and then you're good to go. And when you're done, recycle, reduce, reuse. Well, I guess you're not reusing it. Just slam her down the blue box. Will break all apart. Resin will be stinking up your blue box, but that's not my blue box. When I was younger, we used to just slip them back in, like if they were a beer bottle, we'd slip them back in the case, and then you just return it, and that was fine. They'd just open it up and be like, oh, yeah, 24 things. Or a 12-pack, I guess, if you're out west. I don't know what they have. They have 24s out here?
I haven't drank out here. Out here, I have no idea.
See, I don't know. I haven't drank since I left Ontario. Like, bought a case of beer. And that was, like, not very much. And then I bought one at Christmas time this year, and they wanted damn near $70 for a 24-pack. I was like, whoa. I think the last time was maybe $35. I honestly don't remember, but it was like a lot cheaper than what I thought. So I had 40 pulled out and everything. It was like, here's my case, and they're like, yeah, I'll be 65, 70 or something. I was just like, well, I only have one case here. They were like, yeah, it's whatever it costs. I'm just like, holy shit. And that's just beer, so I don't know if the vodka and all the other stuff went up, but it probably did. I just want to see like the weed alcohol now, weed vodka, weed wine, weed whiskey, I guess. I don't know if that'd be a thing. Make it with weed. Just to add weed to all booze. That's like how we used to make the old tinctures. We used to just take weed and put it in like vodka or that other shit. I don't know what it's called. Alcohol. Ugh. Which is probably like, it reminded me of antifreeze for some reason, but it was cheap and good. Well, good for like those tincture type things. You really didn't want to like have a drink of it. Gesundheit. We got sneezing in the studio. You guys hear that? Or is that too sensitive? What else do we got for a video? Do we got that marijuana merch promo? Or the Toronto one? Let's see what T-Dot's saying.
Actually, this one we'll talk through. Let me pull it up. It's long. Got a nice long march.
A long march. Good, yeah, let's talk through it then. I'll narrate the tour. I'll get all the streets wrong, and people will be like cursing on the internet. That's not Gerard Street. Here we're heading north out of the park, which is probably south out of the park.
20th anniversary for us. We started it 20 years ago.
Allison Newton right there. Billy Palmer. Oh, there he is. See?
So we're at the Toronto Global Marijuana March.
And there's Chris Goodwin narrating us, telling us the story.
I'm at the front of the march. It's just getting started, probably a little bit late. And I am walking backwards.
2:30? Tell us the time.
Somebody out there comment and let me know how it's going.
Oh. Yeah, they got like 10,000 people usually. Oh, really? Huh. It looks cold. Everyone looks bundled
Getting
up.
back to the front of the march now.
Oh, that's why he's back at the front. Just the cops. That's even Toronto, yeah, like, you know, and they got what, that guy. They probably have like some all the way down the side there or whatever, but. And they were always pretty good. They want people to stay in like one lane so they don't have to fully close it, kind of like they did on Robson Street with us. They were like, don't take over that side street. We took it over. Chris is trying to get ahead of like the last recorder guy.
When we get back to Queen's Park, I'll show all you viewers at Cannabis Culture more of the vendor booths and what kind of sales and discounts, what kind.
Well, that's an hour 20? No. Oh, I guess, eh? Yeah, I guess it's the whole march. They got to go all the way around. There's Aaron. We see her flashing through. Yeah, it goes like all the way around.
Awesome. Very cool. Come get high in the park. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later.
Look at all those things.
$5 per gram for bubble hash.
Must be fucking high quality.
The good ones don't pay. That's a sweet deal.
Especially, yeah, when you get hash in the park.
Certainly can see.
Look at that.
Hash in the park, everyone. Actually, the marijuana march in Toronto is the first place I actually met everyone from the Toronto cannabis community. But that was like, I don't know when it was, 15 years ago or longer. There's Alan right there.
Oh wow, there's so much stuff.
Did you ever go to that Michigan hash bash?
I'm on my 26th cannabis conviction. I haven't crossed.
Oh, you haven't crossed, eh? Yeah.
20 years.
I just figured you were I can't cross either, so I'm wondering, you were so close, you've been there.
We know about it.
Yeah,
Actually, Michigan Normal, Richard Clement, senior, he's actually a good friend of mine. He spoke at my 420 last week. He's heavily involved in it every year with the Epic 420 Festival.
Right on.
Tim Hortons, that's an Ontario thing.
All right, well, yeah, man.
I'm going down to $75 an ounce, maybe 50.
Maybe 50 an ounce.
What a fun farmer. Who could possibly do
Look at these little babies right here. Gummo.
Cross those? Yeah. I bred these outdoors last year here.
No.
Nice.
Like, look at that. Looks so good. Oh, it's so busy there, too. See, and look how many booths are there. They got like 50, 100. Did he say how many there was?
Let's walk this way a little.
Hey,
man. Good. Live on Cannabis Culture.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, what do you got here?
Fur 20.
Fur 20?
Dogs.
Yeah, Cannabis Culture.
That's an interesting concept. Delta 9.
That's that guy right there.
So sweet.
It's fucking so high. Charms for your dog.
Fur 20. Holy shit.
Chris was doing the same. He was just so good. Loves trees, and they do. They love peeing on trees, you know.
That's
Just
okay.
open up a whole other section in my mind right now. They brought plants down and shit, leaves, just to be like, oh look, we got leaves. Glass blowing going on. Last year they had a hard time fucking using a torch in the park. The fire department was there, I think. Maybe not, but. Fuck, look at that. We're watching a guy make a pipe right there. Anyone know who that glass blower is? Write it up in the chat.
When does this become illegal? Like when it cools? or when? Like what? At what point specifically?
Probably at any point, as long as you keep. Well, if you keep a good point in your mind that it's not for marijuana use, it's for tobacco use only.
You're pulling into it, like,
the whole time. Tobacco. then it's fine. It's like the poppies. You can grow poppies, but you can't think of extracting them. Like if you say I'm growing them to extract them, they're illegal. But if you say, oh, I'm growing them because I like poppies,
how's everything
that's
over
fine.
here?
Well, that's what's his name there? Masterglass, maybe, but I don't actually know that.
That is nice.
Masterola, that's what it is. See, it says it right there. Oh, it is Masterglass.
Excuse me, sir. Let me out of
That's awesome.
Keep going.
There's Aaron, Jason, their son.
So, Cannabis Culture, I'm just trying to give you guys a quick snippet at a bunch of interesting booths, things that catch my attention.
That one does $5 and $8.
I hope this broadcast has been good for all you guys out there that haven't been able to attend.
Yeah, we're using
today.
the shit of it on the show.
You're somewhere off.
That looks fun. It looks so much fun.
Oh no, it's great. Like yeah, like when we used to go years ago, like it was Neve used to. I think Neve still does put it on, but he used to put on like a big show. Like the last year, I think they had like a permit at the park. I don't know if they did this year. They had like Pizza was like a sponsor or something.
Good.
Yeah.
Good on Pizza.
Maybe it was the other guy, but whatever. There was pizza there, and yeah, it was like a big setup.
Pizza, or just Pizza once.
Pizza One, Pizza Nova.
Pizza once. That's gonna be the name of my.
Not Pizza Nova. Everyone hates Pizza Nova, but they're everywhere. So I don't know. It'd be like Fresh Slice, I guess. Probably not that good quality pizza, but
depends. It all depends. I think it's all circumstantial. You want a different type of slice at different times.
Yeah, like down there on Pizza Row. Right here, there's a street down here. It's called Pender Street, I think, or whatever. But
I like it to be called Pizza
Street. Pizza Street. I call it Pizza Alley because it used to have like 4 pizza places right in a row. Like literally like Fresh Slice, some burrito or sushi place, a vape shop. You need many of those, and then another pizza place. And then the one on the corner was like the family pizza place. It's been there for 20 years. But all like $1.25 to $1.50 a slice. And the variety pizza, like, yeah, you can have that thin crust, thick crust, McDonald's type pizza from the Fresh Slice. McDonald's pizza, you guys remember that?
I haven't had McDonald's pizza in a long time.
We used to buy those all the time, and then just buy like a small one, and then you just like pick up the cheese, and then put mushrooms on it, magic mushrooms, and then put the cheese back on, and just eat it. Because mushrooms always tasted gross to me, and we didn't realize you could just grind them up and like put them in a capsule or do all that stuff. McPizza, yeah. High school, I was in high school when McPizza was around, so that's how, I'm 21, so that's like a long time ago now. I heard somewhere that they did have McPizza at a certain American McDonald's location.
Oh, I'm sure they've got it in places. I guess, but I mean, I really up to.
We're not gonna let it die.
If I were McDonald's and I made my first run into delivery, it would have been with pizza. I brought back the McPizza.
They have that now. I see in McDonald's delivery, which is I haven't ate a McDonald's. Yeah, I haven't ate a McDonald's in like 10 years, I guess now.
Every now and then I like it. I still just like the idea of fast food. I think it's like, yeah, for me it's all circumstantial. I don't think it's good for you in any way, but
no,
I enjoy it every now and then.
Oh, I used to love it, but yeah, and then when I ended up, I think it's just circumstance. Yeah, I moved out here, and I was living in East Van, where there is not a McDonald's. Well, there was at Tinseltown, but I didn't know about that one, so that saved me. The other one was like way at Nanaimo and Hastings, so it was like a far walk.
Yeah, not worth it. Not
Worth it. And especially when there was like, 20 other like burger things and stuff that was all around. I'd go to the Canby or Pub 340 and stuff. They used to have like a good food on there. So that was like, kind of got me off of it. And then, the last time I think I was in Amsterdam, 2006 or something. I was there.
Foreign fast food always.
Well, because I got stuck there with a massive ear infection, so I had to fucking come back. Like I ended up staying there for 3 extra weeks, which everyone's like, "Oh, stuck in Amsterdam, bad trip." But it sort of was, it wasn't like
because it was an ear infection.
Yeah, and I was sick, and it wasn't planned, so it wasn't too enjoyable. But it was, still Amsterdam, so it was fun. Soma and everyone hooked me up, the DNA boys and everything. So it was good. Like, we had a good time, but yeah, it wasn't comfortable. And so then, I was like, fuck, I need some sort of comfort food here. And I was like walking down the street. I was like, oh, Egg McMuffin, I'll go have one of those in the morning or whatever. So I go there and sure as shit, they're in the back cracking an egg on a grill. And I'm just like, what?
Sorry, what is that?
Yeah,
I've seen that in commercials.
I'm like, it really happens? And then like a real piece of cheese because they're not allowed to use the processed cheese in the Netherlands because it's probably very toxic or not good for you. So I was like, wow, that's actually good. But that was the last time I ate it. Like, yeah, I came back to Canada and I knew. I bought one, I think, even maybe at the airport in the morning when I was there or whatever, Whistler or somewhere. And I just looked at it and was like, that's fucking gross. Gave it to my buddy, I think, probably. I wouldn't have thrown it out. Gave it to my dog. Patches.
For real.
Just moved down this Egg McMuffin, bro.
Here you go, Patches. You can't tell the difference.
You weren't over there with me.
Little Patches. Yeah, it's still, safety. I don't understand it. There was, if you haven't seen it, the previous episode of CCN News Live, we had footage of Health Canada consultation. I'll just play just this quick clip to kind of put it in perspective. But this all started because the line of safety is still the thing they always run and hide behind for regulation, for consumption, for all this stuff. And it's like, how many...
Safer than alcohol. It's safer than
McDonald's,
safer than McDonald's. Safer than paint.
Far.
More than 100 people in the cannabis industry, many of them aspiring micro producers, went to this Health Canada info and consultation session in downtown Vancouver, and many weren't happy.
Well, the consultation process I've personally found to be disingenuous.
CTV News tried to see the consultation process for ourselves, but were denied. So even though there are Health Canada officials able to answer our questions on the other side of that door, instead they referred our request for comment to their public relations department in Ottawa.
Did you do that on camera?
No, I'm not here to do that.
Well, then I'm asking you all my questions while the camera's rolling so we get your answers.
Okay, sir. For medical patients, you're under an obligation to provide reasonable access to their medicine to avoid the violation of their constitutional rights. That doesn't exist in the rec market. But we don't have you doing anything for the medical market and the medical patients in relation to their reasonable access.
I mean, reasonable access.
That's what he fought. He fought that in the Supreme Court.
There are no medical stores. Like, where do you get medicine? Why is it easier theoretically to get the recreational version of a product?
I went and seen my doctor today. There's the forms right there for Health Canada. Just looks like white on the screen, but that's them. But he was like, oh, he said, you're still getting the medical weed? I said, well, no. I said, we're growing our own or whatever. I said, but he says, well, why don't you do the legal shop? And I said, oh my God. I said, like, first, it's garbage. I said, even if it was like top quality grade A stuff, I said it would cost me like thousands of dollars for my prescription every month. And I said, I don't have that to spend on weed. Like, that's ridiculous. So he was like, what? And he kind of didn't understand that part of it. I said, oh, yeah. I said, if someone's coming to you for like, a medical need and they have to like grow their own, well, yeah, of course they're going to it's cheaper to do that. Even if you just grow it in your backyard every summer, and then you have it for the year, you're good. Like, you don't have to go into these stores and buy this weed that you're not exactly sure what might be on it. You know, it's safe, but everything was safe at one point. Lettuce, remember lettuce? We had that lettuce scare. Weeds like lettuce,
basically,
guys.
I would say it's also just not the way you want it. Like, you can guarantee if you grew it, it is exactly the way that you want it within whatever your ability, and then you've also got the ability to get it the way you want it, which is, I mean, when has that ever, how often is that ever an option with many therapeutics or medical treatments where you can have it just the way you want it. You can grow it, you fed it the whole time, it was you in it.
Like food, yeah, because you know it's like cooking food. You know what goes into it. You're not there going like, oh,
Like, you're sure. You're
like, oh yeah, I cooked that steak. I know it's cooked right through the way I like it. It's perfect. Okay, that's fine. I'll eat it. I know it didn't sit out, you know, or whatever. But yeah, it's true. I do the same way. Yeah, with my food. Might as well do it with the weed. And then yeah, you can do exactly what you want. Grow the kind you like, for sure, and the way you like to have it, because the way they do it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Sort of dry.
That's, you know, there you go. I don't think it needs to even be more complicated than that.
Like, even this stuff's from like the dispensary, but it's not like bone dry. Like, look, if Johnny was here, he'd be like, oh, it has like a 62% humidity. But like, look at that, you know. And if you buy like weed at the store or whatever, it's not going to do that. Oh, well, it might do that right away though. Just be like,
if you do that,
just be like this, you know.
There you go.
But yeah.
Still, they want to make such a fuss. I don't understand.
Well, I'm gonna go buy some weed when I'm in Ontario, just because for some reason I have this thing in my mind, because the LPs are there, that their weed's gonna be fresher in Ontario, which doesn't make any sense. Every time I say it to people, they just look at me like I'm crazy and say like, "You really think that?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking." But they're like, "Do you really believe it?" And I don't really believe it, but you know.
I don't understand how there's still a backlog. Like, people are saying it's like old cannabis. Like, have they just not caught up to what they're making? Like, I thought if it's a shortage, shouldn't all the dates be brand new?
Yeah, well, and I think it's
like, if it's just if it's limited supply, there should be nothing.
It's probably just really crappy, so people aren't buying that kind. So that's why they have supply, but it's, you know, of grade whatever crap weed that they have, and people realize now that like, oh, we all still have, I don't know what we'll call it, weed B from so and so on our shelf. Like, all the places might have that one.
Yeah, that's
you know?
interesting. I wonder if there's something that just hasn't sold out.
And it's like really expensive, and then people try it maybe, and they're like, "Oh, it's not very good."
Well, I guess all the stores are selling out, right? Because they're running out of cannabis, supposedly.
But they also might not be running out of products, because it's weird, because they'll only have like grams and like half quarters or 3.5 grams and 7 gram weighed up already. So they might get stuck with like a bunch of 7 gram things, and that's like $100 or whatever it's going to cost.
Well, you see, now that's interesting. Yeah, so if
you can't break it down.
But if you can't sell enough of those in a pre-weighed quantity, then you just couldn't staff the store open long enough. Yeah, so I don't know if there's,
you know, like they could just be sitting on the shelf, but they're like, we got a bunch of quarters.
Yeah, that's interesting. And also, like, so what about the capsules that I'm always told are the same, or the oils that I'm always told is medicine? Yet anyone who's ever used a Phoenix tier from any dispensary or anyone else everyone seems to dispute it. I don't know why. Once you see the both of them, for some reason, no one seems to agree on which one is the medicine, although people tend to lean in one direction. But yeah, I'm told the oils that are available for people sick and suffering
are
that's
not
good enough. You can't just swap people out recreationally. It's not a good time.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, because you could probably get it if you're a medical patient with one of these LPs.
Well, no, recreationally, because don't they offer just the edible oils?
Capsules and tinctures and stuff, I think. Yeah, I seen something like that, but not very many of them, so I don't know. But yeah, that oil at 3% or something. Yeah, it was a super low amount, so it was a weird, like, I don't know.
Where's my recreational oil?
Well, even if you make like a concentrated oil, you're like, wow. You want to make it concentrated to make it stronger. That's the goal, not to be like, okay, we made this concentrated oil. They're like, well, we'll just dilute it down to like 3%, so or whatever.
Yeah.
It's
And
like,
then concentrate it into an oil for, even though it seems probably counterintuitive, but also handling purposes, because it is easier to dose liquids. And if you just had fine hash, which I suppose you could also do as well, it would take that consistency. So
yeah, I don't know about their hash making deals. It doesn't look good, because if they're trying to use the weed that they're growing, they're not going to get good hash from it. That's for sure. Or if they're just collecting it all secretly through all their trimmers and all this other stuff they're using.
It's just those gigantic brick of hash. They all just keep adding.
Every LP's
every
LP's been doing it. They're like, how big's your brick now? They're like, 25 kilos.
Secret vault, and they all go there. And they stare at it, and that's where the real is. They're like, they think we're in it for the stock.
We're in it for the hash.
We're in for the giant, the perfect brick of hash. That's my theory.
Yeah, because I'd be in there, and I know like some of these LPs are just so dumb. Well, not all of them, but some of them are probably so dumb that they're like, oh, we'll clean up that dust there. What's leaving all that dust on the fucking thing? And it's like, sweep it off. You're like, well, hey, that's we smoked that there on our lunch break, bro. Like, fuck.
I'll sweep it up. I wouldn't want
I'll sweep that up. Don't get your broom all sticky there, bud.
Yeah, it seems like so much handling. Every time I see the production line,
machines
banged
and, like,
around, it's always just like things are being jostled and thrown. It's like so many people's hands. I just don't get it.
Oh, it's been the worst.
I just don't understand.
Yeah, I guess, it looks like a bad trim job and thing, like, unless you like treat it like a like a nice fruit, and bruise it and stuff, where they're just like, and it can take a little bit of that, but not a whole bunch. Like, I watched Johnny B's videos, Instagram story things. He has the that water fucking moisture meter. He's been testing like $1 million worth of weed. No, I don't know.
Turns out it's $1 million of water.
$1 million of evaporation loss, but he keeps getting some anyway. But he keeps testing them all out, and they're super dry. But like when they open it up, just like even inside the little container, you just see it's just like dust. You're like, wow. Guaranteed if you rub it, that's like all nice trichomes in there. Trichonomes, as some people might call them.
Those are the fake ones, the trichonomes.
Trichonomes comes from LP weed.
Such a disappointment. Also seems like such a missed opportunity. Wouldn't it be amazing if there was a company that was, I don't know, this is wild, just worth the same amount as some of the larger cannabis companies, and just let them grow good weed, and they were interested in it. Then you'd have the best of all things, and you'd have this really cool extra new thing. Like, look at this forward-thinking Tesla-like company, and even the ones that parade themselves like such. No, I don't believe. I hear that claim from some.
Yeah, now with the new hash regulations or whatever, the concentration, like hash is going to be a thing. They should redevelop like all their rooms. They're drying, they're growing, they're hanging, they're trimming, and they can like really maximize on that, like get that hash. Where now they're just like watching it go, guaranteed like in the fucking garbage probably. Or unless they're using it to make their oils, I'm not sure. But even then, it should be stronger than 3%. But I guess you can just dilute it down to whatever percent you want.
Yeah, I don't really know, because it didn't. I mean, at least in all the production footage I've seen, it doesn't seem like a lot of places are interested. At least the ones going for scale seem interested in that type of collection. Even just from the layouts of all the rooms, it's not like there's screens under this, like in any way. They're not trying to.
No, they're just hanging it like in a room, like you were growing weed
shoved around
in the black market or something.
I don't know. People in the black market eventually figured it out, or some did. Where are the legal ones?
Yeah, like I'd be in there for sure, because I don't know. You could probably just like sweep it out as dirt. But really, like, if you're, like, the guy that worked there, you could be, like, fucking sweeping it out as you're fucking smoking weed after working your pipe, Like, sure those are all, like, pure heads, It's just, like, garbage, dust. I don't know. That'd be me, though, they'd be like, "Oh, Cookie's working a lot of late hours there, eh?"
But it keeps the place so clean.
It's so clean, yeah, not sticky anymore. Our shoes aren't sticking to the floor. His fucking eyes are red as hell all the time, and that's fine.
That's fine. What-
He's just like, "Oh, what's up, guys?
plays
Swept
really
hard
clean.
last night."
Well, there
Yeah,
you go.
because that's all free garbage. Like, you know, you can make good bubble hash or a dry sift from all that stuff. Just like as like people, other people like to say, the first bounce is just like the natural heads that fall off in transpo, and if you're there to collect them, well, that's where the gold is. Yeah, Dustbuster Brian, there we go. Dustbuster B, here to scoop up the trichomes.
Do trichome heads separate if you wash them again? Like, what if you re-wash hash?
Well, you can do like 1 or 2 runs of hash and then like wash it, because there's some that don't come off for some reason. But normally, like the first run's always the sweetest. But when they do these bubble hash runs,
wash out a lot of other things.
yeah, they're doing like, you know, a couple runs, and then with the filtration, like with the bags and stuff, it does filter it out, so it's good. Even on the third run, you might get a lot less, but it's still pretty good quality sometimes, depending on the quality you're starting with, of course. But
As always.
as always, yeah, good in, good out. Can't get gold out of crap.
Unless you, unless crap's golden to you.
That's right. As
So.
fucking Mr. Leahy would say, it's his birthday today, so God rest his soul. That might be wrong. It might have been yesterday, but whatever. He would say you can't get
Close
shit
as
from a
possible.
shit rock.
Yeah. Well, on that note, I don't know. I've got nothing else to add. Stay tuned. Going to be uploading the standalone video of Dave and Health Canada. I don't know. Are you endangered, Mr. Cookie? You've been smoking weed since 420. Gave the update. Is there a health risk? Is there an imminent threat?
No, we're good.
Funded gangs and terrorism and all the worst parts of the underbelly of the scary, seedy side of society. And
No, I
led our
heard all the
children
gangs
astray
and
from-
organized crimes out of the marijuana business. They're now into heroin, cocaine, and counterfeit pills.
There you go. Press them up and keep pressing on.
Yeah, so that's it. Other than that, it's good.
Off we go.
Yeah, thanks for everyone coming by. Jeremiah didn't show up. He's a no-show, we'll call him. And
Show, but the one thing I always do like to end on
the
is drug
peace and
Drug
pot.
peace. Oh, peace and pot and marijuana,
There
man.
you go,
But
see?
drug peace. Brought to you by SunWest Genetics.